Hello everyone and welcome to another week. Today on the top 5 we are going to be talking about essential foods that you need to have in your freezer. So these top 5 foods I almost always have in my freezer and I highly recommend them, especially for people who are really busy and really time poor, because a lot of the time they can really help you make really quick, easy meals. So the first thing that I keep in my freezer all the time are bananas. So I usually head down to the farmer's market and pick up a really large bunch of bananas. Look for ones that are slightly browning as well. They make the best ones to freeze because they're a little bit sweeter. You don't want to freeze underripe bananas. Come home, peel them. So don't freeze a banana with the skin on because trust me, it is really hard to get the skin off. So peel the banana. I usually cut them in half. Sometimes you can cut them into to quarters, but cut them in half and put them in a container, a plastic container or a glass container is better, in the freezer, and then you've just got them there. So frozen bananas are fantastic for smoothies, so they add a really nice creaminess to your smoothie, and you can also make banana ice cream with them as well. So if you're looking for a sweet treat, it's a really easy, quick thing to do instead of eating a whole tub of connoisseur ice cream, for example. And I do have that recipe posted below, so make sure you check that out. So frozen bananas, great for smoothies, great for ice cream, also just great to snack on as well. The second thing would be greens. So when I go shopping, I always buy a big bag of spinach and then I tie it up. I also get some zucchini and some cucumber as well, and I chop those up and put them in bags or put them in containers, and I always keep them in the freezer. Now they're great because you can use them for smoothies. So whatever you're doing, smoothie wise, you can always just chuck in a handful of frozen spinach or zucchini or cucumber, and the great thing about having them on hand frozen is that they don't go bad. So the spinach doesn't wilt, the cucumber doesn't go all limp and soft, and you don't have to throw it out. You can keep frozen veggies like that in your freezer for about 2 to 3 weeks. So it's just really handy to have on hand, especially if you want to start adding a little bit more greens to your diet as well. It's good to have. You can also use them if you're cooking things like curries or stews and you don't have any veggies. You can also just use frozen veggies that way too. I know you can't buy zucchini and cucumber in the frozen aisle of your supermarket, so it's good to just do it yourself. The third thing would be berries. So frozen berries, always buy organic. They're usually the same price as conventional berries as well. So buy a massive packet of organic berries, either blueberries or raspberries or strawberries or mixed berries, and put them in your freezer. Again, they are great for smoothies. Everything is great for smoothies. But you can also bake with them. So you can defrost them and then use them to bake with. You can eat them as a snack. You can add them to your porridge or to your yogurt in the morning. Anything. Frozen berries are just amazing just to always have in your freezer. And again, they last so much longer than fresh berries. So with fresh berries, you have to eat them within about 4 or 5 days. But frozen berries can last in your freezer for months. So whenever I'm running low, I always just restock them, and it's just always such a great fruit to have in the freezer. Very versatile. Really good. So the fourth thing would be mince. So go to your supermarket, go to your local butcher and get a good portion of mince, and I like to freeze that because mince is very versatile. So you can use mince for bolognese, you can use mince for meatballs, or for burger patties, and again, having it in your freezer just means that you have that there for convenience when you come home and you don't know what to make. Or in the morning, what am I going to have for dinner? Take some mince out, defrost it, and then you have it ready at night. Another thing that I like to do is actually buy my mince and cook up a big batch of bolognese all at once, and then portion the bolognese into small containers and then keep that in the freezer. So then when you're hungry or when you need something to eat, or if you've come home and you don't really have much time, you just have to take that out and defrost it. You don't actually have to cook up the mince. So cooked up bolognese like that usually lasts again for about 3 or 4 weeks. You can also pre-make burger patties and freeze them, or pre-make meatballs and freeze them, so then all you have to do when you come home is cook them. And the last thing that I always keep in my freezer or fridge are nuts. So some people look at me like, you're crazy keeping your nuts and stuff in the freezer or the fridge. But what people don't realise is that nuts have oils in them that are really volatile and that can go rancid really, really quickly. So everyone knows what it tastes like to eat a rancid nut. It's not very pleasant. And even if you open the container that your nuts are in and you smell them, you can smell when they've gone off. So if you don't live in a really cool climate, keeping all kinds of nuts in either the fridge or the freezer just means that they're going to last longer and they're not going to go rancid. So I highly recommend that if you're keeping them in the pantry at the moment, especially if it's summer where you're living, to move them into the fridge or freezer just to make sure they're a little bit safer to eat and taste a little bit better. And frozen nuts do make a really great snack as well.